Hello, welcome to the first lesson of Unit 4, Home, a vocabulary lesson. Okay, it's me. You can call me Wilson, a teacher based in Ho Chi Minh City. All right, let's dive in. To begin with, let's listen to some of the words below to make sure we know how to pronounce them, all right? The words are here, right below. All right, let's listen to them.
Unit 4, Lesson 4A, Exercise 1.
Bungalow,
Bungalow,
detached house,
detached house,
farmhouse,
farmhouse,
flat,
flats,
houseboat,
houseboat,
mansion,
mansion,
mobile home,
mobile home or mobile home,
semi-detached house,
semi-detached house,
terraced house,
terraced house,
thatched cottage,
thatched cottage,
villa.
and villa. All right, so now let's move on to the next slide. And your job is to tell me what types of homes they are in the pictures. All right? We have 4 pictures here. Picture A, picture B, picture C, and picture D. All right. So in picture A, we can all see a mansion. In picture B, all right. So see the roof? A thatched cottage. Okay, một cái kết cấu được lập bằng lá đúng không? C, terraced house. Là tất cả các căn nhà được sau đây mấy bạn ha, giống nhau xây đồng nhất luôn trên cùng một cái nền như vậy, phân theo lô, giống như là dạng nhà ở đô thị, nhưng mà ở thành phố Hồ Chí Minh của mình thì gọi là một cái dạng nhà mà well planned như thế này thì mình thấy ít hơn. Còn cái dạng nhà này thì nếu mấy bạn xem những cái bộ phim của bên Tây, bên Anh thì mấy bạn thấy rất là nhiều. Terraced house. D, flat, right? Cụ thể ở đây là a block of flats, alright? Rồi, như vậy thì có lẽ là các bạn sẽ cần phải ghi chú lại một số những cái danh từ dùng để chỉ các cái loại nhà ở mà các bạn còn chưa quen thuộc. Ví dụ như là detached house, semi-detached house, thatched cottage, terraced house. Detached có nghĩa là nó nằm tách biệt luôn. Ví dụ như có một cái dạng nhà mà mình có thể gọi là thường thấy là tách biệt, đó là dạng bungalow. Thì theo mấy bạn về vùng nông thôn thì các bạn sẽ thấy là những cái ngôi nhà mà người dân ở thì thường là xây trên cùng một cái nền luôn, mình gọi là on the same level, mình sẽ không có những cái tầng lầu nhiều. Và cái nhà nó nằm riêng biệt một mình nó thì gọi là detached house. Còn semi-detached house là phân nửa thôi. Phân nửa là detached có nghĩa là nó sẽ có một cái bức tường chung với lại một căn nhà khác. Thì thay vì người ta xây 2 căn nhà độc lập thì vẫn được tính như là nó mất công. Rồi nhiều khi mình phải xây cổng rồi hệ thống bảo vệ xung quanh nữa, thì ở đây là 2 căn nhà đó nó có chung một cái tường với nhau. Rồi, và bây giờ là terrace house thì là như nãy thầy đã giải thích, đó chính là một cái lô nhà đô thị ha, thường là thấy ở vùng đô thị. Bây giờ thật là những khu quy hoạch, người ta quy hoạch có gọi là theo cái kiểu như là những cái nhà mà nó thiết kế đồng bộ nhau, nó được xây liền kề nhau và phân theo lô phân nền như vậy, terrace house. Còn một cái loại nhà rất là thông dụng bây giờ các bạn có thể thấy chính là gì đây ta, nhà chung cư đúng không? Và rất nhiều người trong chúng ta là có bản thân chúng ta hoặc là bà con họ hàng thì đang sống ở những cái khu chung cư như thế này. Alright, đó là việc rất là bình thường của urbanization. Alright, let's move on to the next slide. Alright, so now let's ask and answer this question in pairs with your partner. What type of home do you live in? Okay, share with your partners your experience of living in the type of home that you have currently. Okay, and I'm really excited to listen to your ideas. All right. Okay, so you can pause the video so that you can practice with your partner and then resume it so that we can move on to the next activity. For test number 2, we'll be listening to some of the words below. And the purpose is for you to know how to pronounce them correctly. So pay full attention and listen carefully.
Lesson 4A, Exercise 2.
Attic, balcony, basement, cellar, conservatory, drive, extension, fence, flower bed, garage, gate, hall, hedge, landing, lawn, path, patio, pond, porch, shutters, sliding doors, stairs, swimming pool.
All right, so let's see if you know some of these words. I'm gonna tell you their Vietnamese translation, and you're gonna tell me the word in English. Okay? Rồi, nếu như chúng ta muốn ngăn cản ánh nắng từ bên ngoài chiếu vào nhà của mình nhiều quá thì chúng ta sẽ cần sử dụng tới shutters, đúng không nào? Rồi, nếu như chúng ta muốn gọi là tạo một khoảng không gian để cả gia đình có thể quây quần với nhau nhưng mà bên ngoài ngôi nhà của mình, tuy nhiên là khoảng không gian đó không phải là mình tùy hứng nghĩ ra mà là mình đã có chuẩn bị từ trước, rồi có lót gạch đàng hoàng đầy đủ luôn, thì đó gọi là patio, right? Rồi, và nếu như chúng ta cần bảo vệ ngôi nhà của mình thì chúng ta cần phải bao quanh nó bằng hedge, right? Ok, rồi, rất là tốt. Cảm ơn mọi người. Rồi, các bạn sẽ nhớ là mình phải practice the pronunciation of these words. So, you can pause the video, rewind it, so that you can listen to the recording again and again and again, right? As many times as you would like to. Okay. Let's move on to the next activity, shall we? Now our job is to put the words that we have learned from the previous slide into two categories, whether they are parts of the house or in a garden. All right, so let's do it with me. Parts of the house: attic, balcony, basement, cellar, conservatory, extension, hall, landing, porch, shutters, sliding doors, stairs, and garage. In a garden, we can find a drive, fence, flower bed, gate, hedge, lawn, path, patio, pond, and a swimming pool. All right, or swimming pools if you're rich enough, or if you are an avid swimmer. Okay, thank you. Now let's move on to the next slide and see what awaits us there. All right, we have 5 rows of words, and our job is to sort out the word that is different from the others. Okay, different in terms of, like where it can be found. Okay, so number 1, as you can see, attic, usually at the top of a house, whereas cellar and basement are below the house. So the odd one out here is the word attic. Number 2, porch. The lawn and path are part of the garden, whereas porch is among parts of the house. All right. Number 3, detached house is the odd one out because it is not joined to another house. All right. Number 4, gates. It is not a border. It's an entrance and it opens. All right. So fence and hedge can be built around the house in order to protect it from, for example, gate crashers or burglars. Right. Number 5, houseboat, mobile home, or you can also say mobile home, villa. All right. I think the odd one out is villa because it is not movable. Okay, it is not movable. It cannot move around, okay? Or it cannot move about. All right. Very well. So I hope that you agree with me. But if you happen to have different ideas from me, then you can just comment. All right. Let's move on to the next slide, shall we? Oh, great. We have a recording to listen to here. The first step is to listen to an estate agent showing someone around the house. And we have a follow-up question right below. Which 7 parts of the house are mentioned in the dialogue? So a dialogue is a conversation between 2 people. All right, let's listen. And remember, we have a question to give an answer to. Don't forget it. All right.
Lesson 4A. Exercises 4 and 6.
So, this is the house. As I say, it's conveniently located near to the shops, and there are lots of good restaurants and bars nearby.
So, it's quite noisy then?
Lively, I'd say. We're in a very popular area of town.
The road's quite busy.
Well, yes, it can get busy. There are lots of buses that will take you right to the town centre. Here's one now, in fact.
Oh, it's stopping right outside the front gate. There's a bus stop here.
Yes. What could be more convenient? Shall we go in? So, this is the hall, and on the right is the living room. Cosy, isn't it?
It's certainly small and a bit dark.
And through here is the kitchen.
Oh, it's tiny.
It certainly isn't spacious, but I wouldn't say it's cramped. The cooker and fridge are new, and it looks out onto the back garden.
Oh, yes. The owner isn't keen on gardening then?
No, I suppose not.
And the back fence is very dilapidated. It looks like it could fall down at any moment.
Yes, it might possibly need a bit of work. Moving on, upstairs. This is the main bedroom. There's a charming view from the window.
I can see right into the bus station.
Yes, above that. You can see right across the town. So, what do you think of the house?
I'm not sure.
It could be beautifully restored.
Okay. So, the 7 parts that were mentioned in a dialogue include front gate, hall, living room, kitchen, back garden, back fence, and main bedroom, right? Okay, so now note this. A hedge is made of plants, okay? And it doesn't have to be so in the case of a fence, okay? All right, so let's move on to the next slide. Task number 5. Match 9 of the words below with meanings 1 to 8 in the next line. Check the meaning of all the words. Okay, the words are beautifully restored, contemporary, charming, conveniently located. Can you guess where these words come from? There are all taken from the dialogue that we just listened to. All right, so cozy, cramped, dilapidated, impressive, peaceful, popular, lively area, remote and spacious. The last 2 words, substantial and tiny. All right, and you can find the meanings in your book or in this slide. Number 1, uncomfortably small, Number 2, very small. Number 3, quiet. Number 4, far from other places. Number 5, modern. Number 6, in a good location. Number 7, in very bad condition. Number 8, large. And remember that you have 2 words, right? The word 2 words. In brackets, it means that you're expected to be able to find 2 words with the meaning of being large. Alright. And can you notice like the difference between the 2 items, like number 1, number 2? Number 1, uncomfortably small, and number 2, very small. So what does it mean by uncomfortably small? It means that something is small without causing you much trouble. While very small means that you don't feel easy living in the place. Alright, so let's check your answers. Before that, you can pause your video and do the test yourself and check it with me. Alright, so let's see. Number 1, uncomfortably small, cramped. Number 2, very small, tiny. So we don't have any word with the meaning of uncomfortably small. Yes, we do have one, but we don't have any word which means comfortably small, right? Number 2, tiny, very small. Number 3, quiet, peaceful. Number 4, far from other places, remote. Number 5, contemporary, modern. Number 6, conveniently located, in a good location. Number 7, dilapidated, in a very bad condition. Number 8, large, spacious, or substantial. Alright, I hope that you can note down all these words and learn by heart their meanings. Alright, remember, comfortably small means being small while not causing you much trouble. And uncomfortably small, of course, we need a negative word, which is cramped. Alright, so with the word cramped, we can not only describe like where we live as small, but we can also express our annoyance living there. Okay, so I hope that you have grasped the main points that I want you to remember. Okay, and I'm trying to speak really slowly so that you can understand me, hopefully. Okay, on to the next activity. Test number 6. Listen again to the recording from activity 4. Complete the sentences with words or phrases from the list in exercise number 5. Alright, let's listen. I'll play the recording right now.
Lesson 4A, exercises 4 and 6.
So, this is the house. As I say, it's conveniently located near to the shops, and there are lots of good restaurants and bars nearby.
So, it's quite noisy then?
Lively, I'd say. We're in a very popular area of town.
The road's quite busy.
Well, yes, it can get busy. There are lots of buses that will take you right to the town centre. Here's one now, in fact.
Oh, it's stopping right outside the front gate. There's a bus stop here.
Yes. What could be more convenient? Shall we go in? So, this is the hall, and on the right is the living room. Cosy, isn't it?
It's certainly small and a bit dark.
And through here is the kitchen.
Oh, it's tiny.
It certainly isn't spacious, but I wouldn't say it's cramped. The cooker and fridge are new, and it looks out onto the back garden.
Oh, yes. The owner isn't keen on gardening, then?
No, I suppose not.
And the back fence is very dilapidated. It looks like it could fall down at any moment.
Yes, it might possibly need a bit of work. Moving on, upstairs. This is the main bedroom. There's a charming view from the window.
I can see right into the bus station.
Yes, above that. You can see right across the town. So, what do you think of the house?
I'm not sure.
It could be beautifully restored.
Ok, được không? Như vậy là cái ông mà gọi là estate agent đó đang cố gắng thuyết phục cái người mua rằng là it could be beautifully restored. Đó là cái đầu tiên mà mình có thể nghe, gọi là mình có thể gọi là nhớ được chứ. Mình có thể nhớ được tốt nhất vì nó ở nằm cuối cái bài đoạn hội thoại của mình. Và thầy nghĩ là nãy giờ các bạn đã rất là để ý một cái tính từ được lặp đi lặp lại vì nó nghe rất là nhiều lần. Đó chính là tính từ dilapidated. Trong cái bài hội thoại đó thì người phụ nữ có nói rằng là giống như là nó có thể sập xuống bất kỳ lúc nào, nó rất là dilapidated. Như vậy thì mình có thể hiểu là trong tiếng Việt mình sẽ dùng từ gì mấy bạn? Xuống cấp, đúng không? Right, okay, let's check your answers. Number one, it's conveniently located near to the shops. Number two, we're in a very popular area of town. On the right is the living room. Cozy, isn't it? It's tiny. It certainly isn't spacious, but I wouldn't say it's cramped. The back fence is very dilapidated. It can fall down at any moment. Okay. There's a charming view from the window. And number seven, it could be beautifully restored. All right. Okay, thank you for your hard work. Thank you for your attention. Now let's move on to the next activity. Activity number 7. Listen to 4 people describing their homes. Match sentences A to E with speakers 1 to 4. Write 1, 2, 3, or 4 at the end of each sentence. There is 1 extra sentence that you don't have to use. Of course, because it is extra. Okay, so the 4 sentences that, the sentences that we have here are A, this home is not as modern as the owners would like. B, this home did not cost very much. C, this home is very dilapidated. D, this home has got wonderful views. And E, this home is in a remote location. Alright, so let's listen to recording, okay, and decide on, the speakers. Okay.
Lesson 4A, Exercise 7.
1.
I live in quite an unusual home. It's a houseboat on the River Thames. My mum and dad are quite arty and alternative, and they decided a few years ago to sell their house in Oxford and buy a houseboat. A houseboat is also so much cheaper than a house. They managed to get one for £20,000, which is amazingly cheap. Mind you, it was in a pretty poor state and needed some work doing on it, but they managed to do that fairly cheaply too. When I tell people I live on a houseboat, they usually think it's far away, in the middle of the countryside. But in fact, the boat is parked on the canal in Oxford. Unfortunately, there aren't any spaces for boats near the centre, but we're still in the city.
2.
I live in a block of flats on the outskirts of Prague. The flat is quite spacious and has got 3 bedrooms, a dining room, living room, bathroom and toilet. What I like best about it is the balcony. You reach it through some glass sliding doors from the living room. We're on the 8th floor, so we can see right across the city, which is fantastic. The block has a garden that we share with all the other residents, but it would be nice to have a garden of our own. Unfortunately, my parents don't earn much money, so we can't afford to move anywhere better.
3.
We lived in Florence for many years in a flat, but we recently moved to the country. The flat was quite cramped compared to our new house, which is an old farmhouse. There aren't many people living nearby. Our nearest neighbour is a 5-minute walk away, and it's a couple of kilometres to the nearest town. Although the countryside round here is lovely, the views aren't great from the house, as it's surrounded by trees. But it's a very spacious house, beautifully restored by the previous owners, so it wasn't cheap. It has 6 bedrooms, so I don't have to share with my sister anymore. All in all, it's not a bad place to live, but I miss the excitement of city life.
4.
We live in a terraced house in Boston. We've been living here for about a month now. It's a lovely house, quite old. My parents bought it from an old lady who lived here for 40 years. During that time, she didn't really modernize it. It's in good condition, but the decor is very old-fashioned. My parents want to create a much more contemporary look and are going to spend quite a bit of money on it until they've got it how they want it. They also need to insulate the roof so we don't waste any energy. I think they're going to start in the next month or two.
Okay, rồi. Như vậy chúng ta đã nghe xong. Alright, so now let's check the answer. Alright, so A is not as modern as the owners would like. The speakers that mentioned this detail is speaker number 4. B did not cost very much. Speaker number 1, right? C, no speakers at all. And D, speaker number 2. E, speaker number 3. Alright, you can pause the video and rewind it so that you can listen to the recording as many times as you would like so that you can be sure about your answers. Alright, so now we're gearing towards the end of this lesson. Let's move on to... Alright, so this is task 8, the final task of this lesson. Speaking activity. In this task, you will be working in pairs. Ở trong cái bài số 8 này, tức là cái hoạt động của mình chính là hoạt động nói, và các bạn sẽ làm việc trong cặp. Describe your home to your partner. Use the phrases below to help you. Các bạn sẽ mô tả ngôi nhà mà mình đang sống cho bạn trong cặp của mình nghe, và các bạn sẽ sử dụng các cái cụm từ trong 7 cụm từ dưới đây để có thể mô tả cho cái bài nói của mình nó sinh động hơn. Number 1 is a flat, or a detached house, or a terraced house. Number 2 is in the town center, or on the outskirts, or in the suburbs. Number 3, there's a park, or there are some shops nearby. Number 4 is got, chỗ này các bạn sẽ cần một con số để nói về số lượng phòng ngủ mà nhà mình có nhé. Number 5, there is, ở đây các bạn cũng sẽ dùng con số và có thể nói về những cái căn phòng khác mà không phải là phòng ngủ. Number 6, there's or there isn't a garden or a drive, etc. Number 7 is a bit or it's very. Chỗ này thì các bạn sẽ cần những cái tính từ để có thể mô tả về căn nhà của mình, cái ấn tượng chung về căn nhà mà người khác sẽ có được khi mà nhìn vào căn nhà của mình là gì. For example, it's very beautiful. Or you can also say it's a bit far from the city center, or it's a long way from my school. Alright, so thì khi các bạn mô tả cái bài nói của mình, các bạn sẽ có rất là nhiều cách để có thể diễn đạt. Ở đây thì trong cái 7 cái câu này chỉ là những cái gợi ý để các bạn có thể đảm bảo rằng bài nói của mình có những cái gọi là những cái đặc điểm cơ bản của căn nhà mà cần được nhắc tới, được ha. Như vậy là đây là đến cuối của bài học. Chúc các bạn sẽ luyện tập tốt và ôn lại những cái từ vựng thật là kỹ để mình có thể sử dụng để nói về căn nhà mơ ước của mình hoặc là ngôi nhà mình đang ở cho những người khác nghe. Cảm ơn các bạn đã theo dõi video. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.